This is the Hona and MyCase webinar. Hona, recently we integrated with MyCase. My name is Matt McClellan. I'm a co-founder here at Hona, formerly known as Milestones, if any of you have heard of us prior. We're a couple years old now, and we're doing some really exciting things as far as client communication and automating a lot of your, probably right now, manual touch points to clients, but we've worked with the MyCase team to allow you to do a lot of that just straight from using MyCase, how it's meant to be used. My co-host here today is Ryan. Ryan is the principal product manager at MyCase. I met Ryan at a conference probably coming up on a year ago.
Yeah.
And so I'll turn it over to Ryan to kind of introduce himself, let him tell you guys what he's done with MyCase over the years and kind of what his role is now.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Matt. And thank you everyone who's here to see this. Super excited to kind of formally announce this integration with Hona. And yeah, looking forward to adding value to you guys as much as we can. So as Matt mentioned, I'm a principal product manager now at MyCase. I've actually been with MyCase, just hit my 7-year mark this month. And so it's been a while that I've been here. I've seen it grow quite a bit. I actually joined funny story as an engineer and was an engineer for the first 5 years of my tenure at MyCase and really started to love just more high level and understanding the customer problem more and having that background of engineering has helped me kind of transition into this role of product manager where I can now learn from you guys and try to provide as much value to you as possible, especially through integrations like this. So we can go to the next slide. And let's see a little bit just about MyCase in general. As most of you guys know, MyCase covers a lot of what is necessary to run your practice smoothly, right? But there are still going to be firms that have very unique needs in maybe these niche areas and need more granular functionality in certain areas. So the good thing is that there are entire companies dedicated to these granular functionalities or niche areas, and they accomplish them really well. So that's certainly the case here with Hona. They accomplish what they do really well, and it's a lot more granular than what we could ever build out in this particular space. So it really makes sense that this is a no-brainer, honestly, to be able to integrate with them. And everybody using MyCase already continues to get the functionality that they love and that they run their practice on with MyCase. But now they have the option to add even more functionality through integrations like this one with Hona.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ryan. And now a lot of you might not know, a principal product manager, he oversees a lot of what you've seen. So anything new coming out and in the works in MyCase and on their roadmap, Ryan works with clients and with engineers on his team to make MyCase as good as it can be. And I think he's done an amazing job. We have other integrations, and MyCase is a very, very strong case management software. For all those on MyCase, it's a good choice. Now, Hona was built to solve the client challenge, the phone calls that you all get saying, what's going on in my case? What's next? Why is it taking so long? All those questions you get on a daily basis are things we are tackling. Clients just don't understand complex legal things. You, your staff, all of you are in that legal world, and so they make a lot more sense to you all. As well, the standard, and I know MyCase has great texting functionalities, but so many people are using email to correspond with clients, and there's just not a very strong way to do it anymore. Clients like SMS. Clients like the more interactive, and emails just go unread, unfortunately. Beyond that, and this is I'll cover on the next slide as well, but people are used to instant notifications. If you want to know where your package is, you go on your Amazon app and it says, hey, it's 10 steps away from your door. And not only that, they'll proactively tell you, hey, your package is 10 steps away. DoorDash, you watch the car driving to your house to drop off your food. Even your pizza with Domino's, you know when it has its toppings put on. When the individual put it in the oven, all that fun stuff. So all that to say, consumer expectations have changed. What a consumer expected out of their business 10 years ago is very different than what they expect today. And I'm not going to blame these apps for causing that to happen, but it's a better client experience that they're trying to provide to their clients in the form of updates. And so what we do here at Hona is we offer a very similar kind of feel to what they're used to and allow them to interact with their law firm all through one singular application. Now, it's kind of twofold. This is an application for your clients, but it's also an application for you and your team to automate some of your more manual tasks and keep clients in the loop by just using MyCase. So a couple of highlights of our integration. A full nightly sync with all of your MyCase cases. That means nightly we'll look to see if there's been any changes, any new tasks completed, anything else. And then the very next day, things will go out to the clients. So we automate SMS messages based on task completion, based on stage changes. You can create forms to collect more data from your clients, which I'll showcase a little bit later. And then once again, just use MyCase how it's meant to be used and configure Hona to work with it. And the clients will stay updated automatically. A couple other things is we can automate your Google reviews. And then you can also mass message your entire client base using Hona. Now for your client, real-time case updates with MyCase based on stage or task changes. It's one place for all client interaction. All communication from your law firm is delivered via SMS. You can upload documents, see documents you've uploaded, access case data and updates, get educated. And then beyond that, we make it as seamless as possible to get your clients in. We pull from MyCase to see their phone number and email, and then they can log in with their phone number or email, and then they just get a verification code. So no password to remember, no accounts to create. As soon as they get their first text message with access to the app, it's pretty smooth sailing from there. Now, I wanted to jump into a live demonstration of this app. So let me quickly share my phone screen. Now, Ryan, quick question for you before I jump into this. Is this a common thing that you've been asked over the years from your clients at MyCase? Like, what has been the main sentiment around client communication? What have you already done to lift that a little bit?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you nailed it earlier. As the communication with email is dying, and the fact that customers really want and clients really want that instant notification. So we've added things like texting, as most MyCase firms will know, but there's still more and more requests for more automated workflows or that type of automated communication.
Yeah, cool. And then the workflows are exactly kind of what I've spoken about a little bit before. It's those tasks being completed or tasks being created, and then also case stage changes as well. So as mentioned, everything is SMS driven. SMS messages have a 98% read rate. And then we're seeing across all of our law firms upwards of 95% adoption rate. So that's clients actually clicking the link and actually logging in. And so here's an example of what it may look like. Our fictional law firm is Big City Law, so it all comes from the same phone number. And they get these updates. So we can read this one. It's Big City Law's made an update on your case. It's as simple as clicking that, and it'll pull them into the app, after which they'll see that update that you want them to see. This is an example of a personal injury case, though we do cases of all different practice areas, but they get to see a notification, and it pulls them right here into something that looks quite familiar to them. Shows, okay, you're currently in the demand phase. Here's a video of maybe your attorney explaining it. We have animated videos as well. A lot of our clients will make special videos for this app itself. Descriptions, all custom tailored. You can see the logo at the top is the law firm's logo. So it looks like it's coming from your firm. Hona, we don't even care for your clients to know who we are. All we want is for them to have this awesome client experience. And so we've tailored it to be super white labeled. FAQ sections that are completely customizable per phase. And then beyond that, they can click around. So it's like, okay, what's usually comes next in a personal injury case? Okay, it's negotiation. Here's a little video explainer. Here's this, here's FAQs for that. They can look backwards, see what they've been through. And beyond that, a couple other things is I'll just go through these bottom icons is they can see their notification history. If they do want a two-way message, which two-way messaging is built in MyCase, so the option is there if you want to keep using that or that fits your workflows best, please keep using that. But if it makes more sense to consolidate it all into one phone number, we can completely have that opportunity as well. That homepage was kind of what you saw here. And then you can it will actually read from your team within MyCase. And so here you can see that Matt McClellan, AKA Saul Goodman, is my primary contact for MyCase. So it really helps the client understand this is who I need to be talking to. You also saw probably on the home screen, you have one incomplete form. You can set those up to be reminding the client, hey, we still have a form to be completed. Ryan, have you ever run into a situation where clients have been asking for something to gather information from clients? And kind of what has the MyCase team done to help out with that?
Oh, certainly. It's very requested, honestly. I mean, and we've built intake forms into the MyCase process as well, but they're still, I would say, lacking in terms of completing the process of how does that get to the client, right? And then how does that information then get back and saved to the case, et cetera. And so, yeah, gaining that client information is that intake process, I think, is a big area.
Totally. And one of the reasons we built this, I'm about to go into what a form looks like to the client, but one of the reasons we built this is not only at the intake section, there's quite often that you need to ping them down the road for maybe an additional document, or maybe it's, in this situation, it's a personal injury case. Maybe right after treatment, you need to gather all the information about the doctors they visited. And so you'll see this form right here. It'll pull us into our to-do list. And you can see I've already done intake forms in the past, but here's this post-treatment survey. And so very intuitive. They respond here, respond, and you can make, this is very Google Forms-esque. It's very simple to build out. You can do as many questions as you want. As they complete it, they can see their progression. If they leave it in the middle of it, it'll keep reminding them like, hey, you still haven't finished that survey. Please finish it as soon as you can. And then all of this gets pushed directly into MyCase. We want to push it into the notes section so that you can see all these answers when the time comes. I forgot to mention earlier on, there is a questions feature. If you do have questions, to all those listening, please ask the questions. We're going to have a Q&A at the end where we can answer those questions. So that's the gist of kind of this client-facing thing, or client-facing side of the app. There's a lot more kind of on the back end that I'm going to get to right now. But Ryan, it's probably been a little while since you've seen the app. I'd love to kind of hear your take on how you see it fitting and feel it fitting with all your MyCase clients.
Yeah, I do like that. It has been a little bit, and I love it. And I see it as that kind of, as you mentioned, that central place that they can go for that client communication, where everything is in one area. But I think more so than anything, the benefit that I see from it, especially compared to our offerings, is that automated process when you create an intake form and, like you said, the client needs to fill that out or they haven't yet. It's one of the most frustrating things for firms, right? It's actually getting that data in. And so having to do that as a manual process can be, frustrating and not end up really working all that well. And so if you have one centralized place where you keep all their case data in MyCase, you have everything that you need in MyCase, but then you've got this workhorse on the side that's automating and basically like an additional help of member of your firm that's reminding clients to fill out information that you need all the time. I see it as a good help there.
Totally, I appreciate that. And yeah, it's just we've tried to build something that fits consumers' expectations. I myself, I've been working in legal tech for a few years now, and I have been on the client end of a legal transaction. And so part of like our product evolution is, hey, what does the layman want to know from their law firm? And so we built all these different things to just make one central interaction place. And then beyond that, like, what does the client want at the same time? So here's MyCase. Should look very familiar to most of you. Wanted to quickly go over what we take from. So the contact information, here's the client's name, here's the client's contact information. We know it's a personal injury case. So if you're a firm that serves multiple practice areas, we pull from the practice area field so that we can know what set of content to expose to your clients. The case stage can be a trigger for plenty of things, like if you want to assign a form based on a new stage being entered into, if you want them to just be moved into a new stage within their side of the app, all completely configurable based on your workflows. Notes, this is where a lot of our stuff gets pushed into. So you can see here's an event, Milestones notification, or a Milestones or Hona notification is, hey, there's been a phase change. Here's what that actual phase change message said. Here's a different one. This is what this is when a form went out. And then beyond that, here's actually a form's when it gets received. It'll get pushed into the notes, and here's all the answers to a form that I filled out in the past. Additionally, like I said, it pulls from your contacts. You're able to see if you want to expose the attorney to the client, if you want to expose the case manager within their side of the app, it can all be done there. One last thing that's actually a newer feature that I wanted to showcase is we recently built a Chrome extension. And this works with a bunch of different browsers, so because most are built on Chrome. But here, this Chrome extension allows you to not have to leave MyCase, which is one of our goals. We want your staff and yourselves to be able to do all of this automatic communication and communicate with your clients without having to leave MyCase. And so just by clicking this over, you can get a snapshot. So here's this case here. It reads from what case you're looking at in MyCase, so you don't have to do a bunch of searching on both sides. You can see if this client's logged in, how many times they've logged in. You can look at your message history with that client. If they've uploaded files, they'll be here. And then again, also in MyCase, these files all get pushed into your MyCase documents section. Additionally, you can see their notification history. You can see the team that they're being shown. If they've left a Google review, or we also have a net promoter score where you can ping them throughout the case to see how you're doing as a team. And then lastly, kind of be able to see where their forms are at. One of the big use cases for this is, say you don't want to wait for the nightly sync for that phase change message to go out. If you were to come in here and change a phase, you'll see it move to the negotiation phase. I can click sync updates, and it'll immediately, as you saw, change to the negotiation phase. And so my phone, I just got a text message saying there's been a phase change, and I'm able to now see that phase change live on the phone. Additionally, sometimes clients will call and be like, hey, when's the next phase change going to happen? Like, hey, have you read our FAQ section? Let me resend you the most recent notification so that they have a quick access at the top of their text messages to be able to jump into. So this is a little bit about how we want your firm to use both in conjunction with each other. I'm now going to jump over to the side of Hona that you will interact with as a law firm. All of your cases will aggregate here into our dashboard. It'll kind of give you the generic information, client's name of the case, what project type or what case type it is, and then what phase it's in, primary contact, all that stuff. You can click into these, and this is exactly what you were seeing back on that last page, where you can kind of see all this stuff. Clicking back in, a few things that clients do out of here is you can multi-select all your clients. Once again, this is a demo org, so there's only 7 cases. I'd expect many of you to have more than that. But you can sync updates kind of en masse. You can send a message to them. You can request Google reviews, and this can just be one client if you want it to be. Say you're on the phone with them, you can just click request a review. If you need to assign them a form, you can manually do it from here. And then beyond that, there's also some filtering functionality of, okay, only personal injury cases that are within the file setup phase, and you can send a mass message to everybody. So this allows you to reach clients really quickly and via text message in mass, which a lot of our clients are really, really enjoying. Jumping in, and this is the last thing I'll cover kind of within this app. Well, actually 2 more things. Let me show you, we do have a reports page. And this is what we pride ourselves on. We want to see these numbers 90+%. And the adoption rate simply means how many clients got a text message with a link that they were able to log in and how many actually logged in. So we are seeing around 90% on average across all of our clients. Some fun other things, how many clients logged in last month and this month, how many notifications have been going out, your average days in phase, which MyCase has a beautiful thing built in, but for the same reason. And then also the breakdown of who's in which stages. Additionally, if you need to build out forms, it's quite simple, where your forms, you're going to be able to, here's the post-treatment survey. Adding a question is quite simple. Name the question, choose what type. If it's a file upload, multi-select. We tried to build this really reminiscent of like a Google form or even a Qualtrics that is simple to use and can add a lot of functionality. Here in the company settings is where a lot of the kind of build out goes. This is going to look exactly or very similar to what I showed you on my phone side. This file setup phase, you can see what we name it for the client to see is file setup. Here's the notification message that they see when they get this update to this phase. The videos, super simple to embed. You can do as many videos as you want, as long of a description as you want. The trigger, so that's the case stage from within MyCase that moves it to this stage. So it's simply put, if it's in the file setup phase in MyCase, it's going to be in the file setup phase for the client. Turning on Net Promoter Score surveys. This is one that is quite used in certain phases, but drip notifications, it's simply how long have they been in the phase? If they've been in for every 14 days, I want to send them a message that says, hey, you're still in the treatment phase. Just want to remind you to go to your doctor's appointments. Please don't miss any. If you miss any or anything changes, please let us know. So it's your way to stay in contact with them, completely automated based on the stage that they're in. And that can also be done based on task completion. So the way that works is if a task is completed during this file setup phase, you actually paste in the name of the task from within MyCase, a secondary message can go out and be able to say, hey, we just finished gathering your medical records. What that means is we're going to start preparing your demand letter. We'll be in touch if there's anything else that we need from you. So drip notifications are really widely used, and then FAQs are quite simple to add as well. And so building out your kind of different project type, and we have templates for dozens of different practice areas that you're able to use as well when you start implementation. If you do workers' comp as well, you can build out a separate workers' comp. If you do family law, immigration, whatever it may be, you can build it out and kind of set up your own workflow and what the clients will see there. Additionally, we have something called event triggers, which is very Zapier-esque. Now, event triggers you can set up criteria. So it's like maybe it's when the task that says finish gathering medical records gets completed, let's send it out at any time during this case. Now, Ryan, you haven't seen some of this. What are your thoughts on sort of the automation and how this is working?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. So what I keep getting back to is exactly that, like the automation and what that enables firms to do as an add-on to MyCase, because quite frankly, it's an area that isn't supported as well in MyCase, right? I think MyCase is so great at maintaining and organizing and doing all the all the books and all the files and everything in MyCase, but then it's just really what keeps getting back to me is, especially when you have things like the Chrome extension, being able to still stay in MyCase, but then have that workhorse automating certain things, or how you even right then got that text message, just by changing the stage. I think it's by far going to be the most valuable add-on for that reason.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. And beyond that, like a text message update is great, but the whole reason for our kind of more centralized portal is clients want somewhere to actually go. A text message is limited to 160 characters, but if they can get into an app that has custom FAQs, custom descriptions, videos that explain what's going on, an update itself may not be enough for most clients, as you may know, all you legal people out there. It might not be enough, but now paired with the FAQ sections and the descriptions that they can sort of self-educate. We live in a self-educating world. And so it really gives them that opportunity to do it themselves and kind of take it into their hands with information you've given them. You would hate for a client, and I'm sure this happens all the time, that Googles and says, what happens, or how long should my PI case last? And it tells them 6 months, when in reality it's 18 months, and now they're thinking you're not working. And so this allows you to kind of take the reins as to what they get educated with. All right. As far as kind of the live demo, we've showed you what it looks like with MyCase. We've shown you on the side of the client on the phone, and then also what the business would interact with. Once again, going into this sort of world isn't necessary for most clients. With the Chrome extension right out of MyCase, it's kind of a set it and forget it type of software, where you set up these triggers, you set up what's going to happen when this phase or this stage changes or this task gets completed, and then rely on Hona to actually send those out and keep the client up to date. Q&A. It looks like we've got quite a few questions coming in. Ryan, did you have any questions about the software in general, or something maybe that you thought of while we were going through all that?
I don't, but I'm glad that I've been monitoring the chat, and I've seen some really good questions in there, and there are things that I think we've already discussed as well, additional value to the app. And so it's really cool to see that firms are already thinking about these things and how it could provide even more value. And as we've discussed, Matt, and as the responses are there, that those are already in progress. So I love to see it. At MyCase, we do the same thing. We're always trying to improve and build out new things. And so we're happy to partner with someone who's doing the same.
Perfect. For those that might not be reading through questions, I figured I'd answer kind of a few. Lily asked an awesome question. Is there a Spanish setting, or can we custom? You can completely build out a full different build out in Spanish with Spanish videos. And we can pull from a custom field within MyCase where you designate that it's a Spanish speaking client. And that's how our system will know, okay, this person is a PI client, that's Spanish. And so we'll know to make it a Spanish personal injury setup. That's a great question. And we have Spanish templates as well for almost all of our practice areas. Automate an internal non-Google review. Absolutely. If you want to build a form that is more of a survey type form where you're getting custom feedback, that's totally possible. But we have something called a Net Promoter Score, which some of you more marketing centric people might know what that is. But a Net Promoter Score is essentially how likely are our clients to refer us to other people. And so you can automate that at different stages. You can do it at all stages. You can just do it at every other stage, whatever makes the most sense for you internally to get that sort of feedback. Lily, another great question. Can the forms integrate with MyCase fields so that the data goes directly to MyCase fields? That is definitely a future iteration. I was actually speaking with Ryan just yesterday about that and kind of what the future of that looks like. And it definitely looks like where it's going to completely automate and push it into whatever field it needs to go to. If client contact information changes, yes, that nightly sync completely covers it, and will change the client contact information and sync it back into Hona. Another great question I'll cover, and Ryan, I'm cognizant of your time. You'll need to jump off any time now. So I appreciate having you here. And everybody, Ryan is at the sort of near the helm of the product development at MyCase. So anything great that comes out is completely Ryan, and anything you don't like is not Ryan.
Absolutely. All right, I do have a 10:30, but I want to thank everyone once again, and thank you, Matt, as well, for having me. And I'm really looking forward to watching this integration grow and having it provide a ton of value to our current firm. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Ryan. And everyone else, we can answer a couple more questions. Web browser versus app. Yeah, and so we have it's completely web browser, which you may have seen. It opened up my Google Chrome app on my phone. Now, we do that mostly for adoption. Clients today just don't want to download apps to their phone. And so we make it as seamless as possible for a client to get into the app and interact with the app. Just as secure, everything's there and safe. But that allows for them to not have to download the app and keep the app on their phone, which inevitably gets deleted often if they are short on storage or whatever else it may be. Can you send text messages for clients only within a certain practice area? Absolutely. You can filter down to so many different things. You can filter down to personal injury in the treatment phase, where the primary contact is Susie. Whatever it may be, it's kind of all possible. I'm going to jump back because I realize I may not have shared that QR code for long enough. So I'm going to quickly share that QR code again. But it's been a pleasure showing you Hona in interacting with MyCase. We're very excited about it. It was great. When Ryan and I met, he said, this is exactly what our clients are asking for. Can you integrate with us? And we said, yeah, and we've had a really, really awesome, we have dozens of clients on from MyCase in just a couple months. So there's a lot of people finding value, and it's a really strong integration because what MyCase is such a great company to work with. If you don't know your calendar right now, also feel free, if you go to Hona.com, there's a request demo. That's another way that you could get in touch with our team to get demos set up with our product team. Once again, it's been great to present to you all. There's more to it. There's so much to it, and we are building so much right now. And we want to hear your feedback. And so if you come on board with us, please let us know things we can do to improve or features that you think will be really relevant to you and to other potential clients. Have a great day, everybody, and hope to work with you soon.